Hey YouTube land, it's Tycanders here doing another action figure review, and this time it's for the DC Multiverse, McFarlane DC Multiverse, that is, Wonder Woman 1984, which is the second Wonder Woman movie that was supposed to be out this year, and because of coronavirus and all that annoying stuff, it has been pushed back to next year as far as I know. I don't think it's being released this year, unless it comes out digitally, which it might do, but as far as I'm aware, it's not being released yet, and the release date was pushed back, as with a lot of things that I was looking forward to, and I'm sure most people were looking forward to. And so, before I get on to about the figure and the box and all that, I just need to say these video reviews are intended for collectors over the age of 13. Just to abide by the FTC, FDA, or whichever it is, and copyright rules. And onto the box. So the box is pretty much the bog standard DC multiverse packaging that you've come to know from McFarlane. It is the black, white, and blue. Just has McFarlane toys, 22 points, moving parts or articulation. Pretty self-explanatory. It has Wonder Woman's name on the side. Flipping around the back of the box, just has an image of Gal Gadot. Is it Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure it's Gal Gadot. And it's just has the Wonder Woman 1984 image from the movie in her original kind of style costume, and not the eagle uniform, is it Golden Eagle, I think it's called, the second costume you see in the movie. Well, that you see in the trailers for the movie. People haven't really seen the movie yet. Then there's a few other figures like Arkham, one of the Arkham game Jokers. I think it's Arkham, not City. It's one of the Arkham ones anyway. And then there's a corresponding Batman, and then you have animated Batman and animated Superman. The only other figure I've reviewed from this line is a Superman, but it's the kind of comic version of Superman, not the animated. So I will show them next to her as in the comparison. So for accessories, you get a card, again with the same image. And flipping around the back of the card, you have information. So now, I will say straight off the bat, there is some... I've watched a few other people who've done a review of this figure, and they have noted that the height on this figure is quite off. On the file card on the back, it says she's 5'10", so just on the hair under 6 foot. Now, the way I see it is, if Superman's supposed to be around 6 foot, and I'll do this first. So, if I just bring in the Superman, now this is a comic-based Superman, so if they were to do a Henry Cavill style Superman, maybe he will be taller. I'm not too sure. But they have, if I just pull my camera back a bit, people have been saying that she's a bit too tall. Now, I could understand if she wasn't wearing these big high platform pieces on the back, arches on the back of her shoes to give her extra height. Maybe that's why she's over the height, but like that's the way I see it. If she wasn't actually on those and where her ankles start, Superman would be standing about that height over her. If I just pan up my camera, so he would have a small height difference on her, but because of those extra lifts on her ankles. Now, I don't have the other version. I'm assuming that still has this extra, point or extra boost to her height, so maybe that's why she appears taller in this one. I know this is pretty much the same uniform from the first one, so she should, and if I remember correctly, she was only about the same height as other characters, as her counterparts, so maybe it's just whatever promotional stuff that McFarlane took the sculpting from. Because if I bring in other kind of movie style characters, here is the Alien Resurrection Ripley. Oops. You can see she's a bit taller than Ripley. NECA's John Rambo. Another McFarlane toy of Chief Hopper. So just bear with me a moment. You can see she does stand a little bit taller than some, a little bit around the same height as others. So again, if you're going by more realistic heights, it could be just because she has those extra platform bits on her boots that give her the extra height. Could work. It does seem to work for some things like, you know, mix matching with NECA's aliens and predators. She does seem to stack up quite well. I will bring in one of the predators later on. But on to her other accessories. She does have her lasso of truth in a extended form, and she also has a coiled form because there is a clip on the side of her belt that it can clip onto. You can also clip the coiled form on the side of her belt as well and just have it in her hand a small bit if you want it to kind of look like she's not fully unlooped it from her belt and just kind of throwing it off the belt. You can do that, or you can put it in the hands. The hands are a bit weird. They actually are pistol grip hands. I would have preferred if she'd come with some closed fist hands as well, as in like punching hands. Would have been kind of cool. But her hands actually have a trigger finger. So if you want her wielding weapons, you can kind of do that. Do I have anyone actually just slip Rambo's M16 out of his hand? Just for, you can give Wonder Woman an M16 if you want, so she can go pew 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 instead of throwing her fists around and the lasso of truth and flying around the place and generally kicking butt. But overall, the articulation is quite nice in her. Now I will get onto the head sculpt in a little bit, but the head is on a ball joint. You have these sort of butterfly joints in the shoulder that kind of, well, they're not quite butterfly joints. I think what they are is there's a peg joint and these just cover up the gap between them. You have a hinge, and the arm can go 360. The head can go 360 if you wish, but you know, that's unnatural. There's a thigh, upper bicep swivel, an amazing double jointed elbow, which you can get over 90-degree bend. And you have those kind of rocker joints, or the ball joints in the wrist, so you can rotate the joint and then rotate the hand. So you can either have the hand going on an in and out pose, or if you rotate it to the right direction, you can have it up and down. Again, both hands have those trigger fingers. She has quite a good range of movement on the waist. The armor is really nicely done in that chrome, almost chrome red. There is a bit of waist separation, all right. So like there's a bit of gappage in certain points. She does have a twist on both those joints. She has splits that much, forward kick that much, back kick. She does have the slight thigh swivel. It's not much, but it's a tiny bit there. She has ratchet joints as well for the hip. She has a double jointed knee, so you get good range of movement out of that. And again, just like with the wrists, you have that ball hinge for the ankle, so you can either have the ankle pointing forward, or if you twist it to the right direction, you can have it going in and out to the side. So, and then she has feet articulation, so if you want to try and get her in running poses, you can do that. She does have a figure stand as well, which I failed to mention, with just a DC logo on it. It doesn't have the Wonder Woman movie logo or anything like that. And her foot pegs into that. She has foot pegs on both feet. So if you want to try and get her into a kind of a running pose or a kicking pose, you probably could use the base as a stand for her and just get her in the right pose for it. So you can do that. Now, The other thing I kind of wish she came with, and I know it's more of a nod to the original film, was a sword, because she had a sword and shield in that one. And I have this. Now, if you don't recognize it, some people might, some people won't. This is actually, is it not Trevor Belmont's sword from the Diamond Select Castlevania animated thing? And it fits her quite nicely, and the design and the gold almost matches up with her own gold. So you could almost use this as her short sword that she had in the movie. I know it's probably a good bit different to that one, but you could get away with it. And it looks quite nice. It does fit kind of well. It's a little bit loose, but you can, if you heated up the hand a bit, you could probably tighten the grip on it, just so the sword fits a good bit tighter on those hands. But you can get her to wield it quite nicely. And then I will go on about the head, because I know it's a bone of contention for a lot of people. Now, straight on, I don't think it looks very much like Gal Gadot. From the side, yes, when you're kind of have it angled at certain ways, it does look like her. More so from the left than from the right. The other thing that's kind of annoying is she has no ears. So the head sculpt doesn't have actually any ears. Even if you look at the promo picture that she comes with on the thing, you can see her ears should be just next to here where the tiara part is. So like it should be the same on both sides. You should have been able to see her other ear on that side, which you can't. I think it's kind of why it throws off this figure. And the tiara part just kind of stops here abruptly for sculpt wise if you pull the hair back. I know you're not supposed to, but I mean, you can kind of see it just peeking out underneath there, that it doesn't go all the way in. So it is a little bit annoying that way. But overall, it's not too bad a head sculpt. I have seen worse. I mean, it's not the worst one out there. Some of the older Mattel ones were completely off. As I said, it kind of looks like her from certain angles. I don't have the other version of her to the gold armor one. I don't have that to compare it to. So the head sculpt on that might be a little bit better. But just so I can bring in my tape measure so I can give you an idea of how big she is. She's supposed to be part of the, if I get her to stand, 7-inch line. So if I just bring in my tape measure, she does stand just a hair over 7 inches. Not sure if you can see that on screen. Let me just pull my camera back a bit. So she does stand a little bit taller than the 7 inches, maybe just on par. So there is that. And then just for size comparison, I already brought in Superman. I will bring in some more female characters. So here's one of the Fortnite figures. Here's Mishinko. Again, Ripley from Resurrection. And Ripley from the Kenner line. I'm probably going to knock everything over at some point. There is good old Rambo. Pop in Chief Hopper in the back there. And see if we can get someone else in. I'll get Jesse Custer from Preacher. Just to pop him in there. Just stand a little bit small. And give him the stand without falling and knocking everything over. And I'm not sure if you can see him. If I move Ripley out of the way, you can see him in there. So, size varies on these figures. Or height varies, I should say, on these figures. But overall, I think it's a good figure. A little bit let down on the head sculpt. There is a few other kind of more high-end price figures, but for the price point on these are around 20, 25 over here, but around 20 bucks in the States. I did pick this one up from Smith's. Over here in Ireland, they do seem to have a couple of figures from the line. Not all the new ones, certainly not any of the kind of new comic style Batman figures, which look really cool, and that armored Superman. none of those, but kind of the more first wave stuff. But overall, it's a good figure. Articulation wise, it's quite on par. It's quite good. You get some great range of movement and stuff on it. I even have a picture. One thing I said I was going to do is a Predator from the Predator line, or from the NECA Predator line, and I know Machinko kind of counts as one, but I'll just bring in one of the kind of, it's not the standard Predator, is the older version. This is the older version of Enforcer. It's not the newer one with the newer articulation. So if I just move his combi stick out of the way, just so I can get him to stand behind her. If I straighten out his legs a bit, it might be handy too. Just get him stand a little bit more natural. You can see the height. Oh, I knew it was going to happen. Everything go flying down. Please bear with the rain as well in the background, because the roof here is metal. It tends to echo. So if you're hearing weird stuff in the background, it's because it's raining now and it's making a noise on the roof. So there she is next to one of the Predators. She's a little, almost the same height as a Predator. Do I have one of the newer scale ones? I do have one of the newer scale ones. It's the one from the same line that Machinko came with. So I'll just bring him in. And just see if I can get her to stand next to him. So you see some of the newer ones are a little bit taller than the older Predators. Actually, I think they upped the scale a bit on the newer Predator. Let me bear with me again. You can see there is a slight height difference between the new style Predator and the old style Predator. I think it's more the joints gave them extra height when they changed the joints around. But that's beside the point. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't waffle on too much. And as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.